Roman Reigns reflects on time under WWE Hall of Famer's guidance. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jennifer. Have a nice day. For the WWE family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Thank you. For several years, WWE Hall of Famer Paul Heyman served as an advisor for Roman Reigns, both on-screen and off. Following the events of WWE WrestleMania 41, however, Heyman transferred his services to The Vision, consisting of Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. During a recent appearance on The Pat McAfee Show, Reigns reflected on his time learning under Heyman, whom he famously referred to as the Wise Man. "He taught me so much," Reigns said. "I sat under his learning tree. I learned from him for a long time. So anything that he's teaching all these other guys, and he loves to tell stories, he'll come back to them. I absorbed so much from the former wise man that I think I've surpassed him now. It's become one of those situations where I've become the master." While working together, Reigns carefully listened to Heyman's wealth of knowledge, especially on long flights to various WWE events, such as those in Saudi Arabia. "I'd sit there and take counsel," Reigns said. "I'd hear his stories, and sometimes, he'd forget he told me a story and tell it again. But I'd listen to see if the message was the same or if there was another detail. He's a very wise person." Just as he did with Reigns earlier this year, Heyman has now seemingly turned away from Seth Rollins, with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed standing alongside him as they recently confronted the Visionary on WWE Raw. Paul Heyman belongs on the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling managers. Heyman's gift for communication and his ability to draw attention is something you can't teach. More than just a spokesperson, Heyman is a fully realized character, a confident, sharp-tongued manager with the Midas touch, able to elevate numerous talents by enhancing their stories. Other managers have clients, but Heyman has Paul Heyman guys. That says a lot. However, while Heyman is one of the best in the business at building stars, his talent alone can't guarantee success for everyone. There have been as many challenges as triumphs, we just tend to remember the highlights. We're going to rank Paul Heyman guys from WWE based on their achievements under Heyman's management. For example, we'll focus only on Roman Reigns' tribal chief accomplishments, not his earlier big dog era. Which Paul Heyman guys did he elevate to greatness, and which ones didn't quite reach that level? Before we begin, we should also mention Paul E. Dangerously, Heyman's earlier persona during his pre-WWE career in WCW and ECW. Dangerously was essentially an early version of Paul Heyman, a confident, ambitious character you love to see challenged. While Heyman now has the polish of a veteran performer, Dangerously had the boldness of youth, which made him stand out in a different way. The guys Paul E. Dangerously managed in WCW and ECW are a who's who of future superstars, including stunning Steve Austin, the future Stone Cold, mean Mark Callis, The Undertaker, Taz, and Sabu, to name a few, as well as seasoned veterans like Bobby Eaton, Ravishing Rick Rude, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, and Arn Anderson. During the early 1990s, Dangerously's Dangerous Alliance was one of WCW's top heel factions, and battled top fan-favorite stars like Sting, Ricky Steamboat, and the Steiner brothers. It's a mighty impressive lineup and already puts Dangerously Heyman in the conversation for best manager ever. We're not talking about Paul E. Dangerously guys. We're talking Paul Heyman guys, but they deserve some acknowledgement. What do a bold New Yorker who likes to elevate young talent and a tough Alabaman who likes to challenge them have in common? They're both associated with hardcore wrestling, maybe? Honestly, we're not sure, which is probably why WWE paired them up during Hardcore Holly's short stint in the mid-2000s ECW revival. Holly aligned himself with Paul Heyman as an Arn Anderson-style enforcer, taking out top competitor Rob Van Dam, leading to a rivalry between the two. Why Heyman would choose WWE stars like Holly over his ECW originals didn't make much sense. But that was WWE's ECW for you, less a revival of the beloved hardcore brand, and more a training ground, combining the next crop of main roster talent with veterans like Holly. It made sense from Vince's point of view, but was disappointing to Heyman and the passionate ECW fanbase who still chant ECW to this day. Holly eventually teamed up with RVD against Heyman and ECW champion The Big Show, only to betray RVD later. While the name was ECW, the booking resembled later WCW, as demonstrated by Holly. Either way, Holly earns his spot for being the most inconsequential and confusing Paul Heyman guy. Test had all the makings of a Vince McMahon guy, tall, athletic, and camera-ready. No wonder he caught McMahon's attention. However, he never truly connected with WWE fans, despite high-profile storylines like his involvement with Stephanie McMahon and his feud with The Undertaker. After a brief break from WWE in 2005, Test returned for the ECW revival in 2006 in an effort to transform a Vince McMahon guy into a Paul Heyman guy. Test aligned with Heyman and became a top villainous contender, forming a group of ECW newcomers alongside Big Show, competing in an Extreme Elimination Chamber match at ECW's much-criticized December to Dismember pay-per-view, and challenging Bobby Lashley for the ECW World Championship. Not the worst run in the world, and if Heyman had managed Test on the main roster, it might have ranked higher. But Test being a Paul Heyman guy on ECW was a stretch, which is why this run does not stand the test of time. Cesaro and Brock Lesnar have a lot in common. Both are powerful athletes with great in-ring ability, but aren't the strongest at delivering promos. So, you'd think Paul Heyman and Cesaro would be the perfect pairing, right? Not quite. Timing is everything in pro wrestling, and the timing of Heyman-Cesaro was just odd. On the same night Cesaro became one of the most popular wrestlers in the world, after winning the inaugural Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania XXX, Brock Lesnar shocked everyone by ending The Undertaker's legendary streak. The next night, Cesaro was endorsed by Hulk Hogan, and then he hired Heyman. What? So was Cesaro a villain? Was Heyman a hero? It felt like Vince saying, "Let's put them together and see what happens, pal." So what happened? Not much. Cesaro inexplicably started losing matches. Heyman disappeared from his corner, and the much-anticipated Swiss Superman vs. Beast Incarnate team-up or rivalry never materialized. Given Cesaro's alliance with Heyman actually hurt his momentum. Through no fault of either man, his run as a Paul Heyman guy was one of the weakest. The Dudley Boys were essentially ECW's version of the Legion of Doom during the brand's 1990s heyday, a duo that formed the backbone of the promotion's tag team division. Following their move to WWE in 1999, the Dudleys enjoyed one of the greatest tag team runs ever, including multiple championship reigns and featured spots in some of the most iconic matches in wrestling history. Yet by 2004, the Dudley Boys were struggling for direction on the SmackDown roster, so who better to pair them with than their former ECW mentor, Paul Heyman? Unfortunately, the storyline for the reunited team didn't make a